I've been with Google for 5 years now, and we've been having that conversation all during that period about this is the year of mobile, this is the year of mobile, and it almost became a bit of a running joke, when is the year? And finally, the last year or so, we've seen mobile queries surpass desktop for most industries. And we have that access to information to be able to see when mobile has become more important based on searches, and we can now see, based on the data that we have, that machine learning is the next big shift. In Google, we're at a very lucky position for a couple of reasons. We get access to a lot of information that allows us to see trends as they emerge. So when we started to see more people searching on Google using their phone than they did on their desktop, we could see that this was a shift that was going to impact everybody. So we could see it early, we could adapt, and we could help our partners and clients to get on board and to figure that out as well. And another benefit that we have is that we access huge amounts of data. So enabling ourselves to get to grips with the huge amount of information allows us to ramp up things like machine learning quite quickly at a big scale. Machine learning is really the next big shift. So what I'll do just to start is kind of give an overview of how I see machine learning. So artificial intelligence as a whole term is kind of the science of making computers smart. It's getting computers to undertake certain human tasks. And machine learning is a subfield within that, where the real benefit to machine learning is that you don't need to pre-program a system to get a desired task. You can just tell it what to achieve, and it figures out how to go and do it. It's not a case of the machines coming to take over and take our jobs. It's a reframing of how we can use it to do what we do better. How do we save time to reinvest elsewhere? Or how do we do something that the competition currently can't do? And we can use machine learning to help us with that.
And not every business is Google and has all the science brains you guys have, but they're all good at something, and that's why they exist as businesses. But the thing is, how do they catch up? How do they make that leap?
There is that kind of fear factor initially to think that it's a massive problem and it's only for really big, large organizations, but in reality it's about thinking about what that company does better than somebody else, or what's their key starting point. So we can talk about simple examples around customer service emails being put together, organized and replied in a quicker manner, or just using it in a way to free up your time to allow yourself to invest that time to doing something a bit better. In terms of our Google data centers, right, high-powered areas that need a lot of cooling, and we used machine learning to be able to figure out, based on weather outside, temperature inside, when to open and close the blinds to keep the plants at the right temperature, and that resulted in a 40% saving in energy. We're looking to see how people change and what they're expecting. So kind of what we were saying earlier about people's expectations increasing and wanting things earlier and more accurate and better. We're now looking, instead of trying to just answer questions when they're asked, try to answer them before they're even asked. So I was in London on Tuesday at a meeting, and before I left, my phone popped up to say the weather in London, the exchange rate from euro to sterling, and what time I needed to leave to go to the airport. Like, I would have searched those things, but wasn't it amazing that it was just surfaced there for me? So as I draw to a close, what I wanted to do is to leave you with a couple of questions and points to consider relating to your own business or organization. So firstly, are you keeping up with what your users and partners want? Are you offering them what they need on mobile? So as I said, have a look at your site and see if you genuinely feel that you are giving them what they need. Secondly, have you started to think about machine learning? If you haven't already thought about it, have a think about what you can do to set yourself apart from the competition. How can you get ahead of this? Because it is a trend that's absolutely coming. And finally, to think about, as this changes and as this, the services and offers that you will be offering might change, think about the kind of skills that you need. So as you start to plan, think about what kind of skills and people that you need in your organization.
And if you were to make a checklist of things you need to do now to basically keep on top of the machine learning revolution, I mean, that's the very interesting thing. I mean, AI is a whole world of things, but machine learning is a subset of that.
Yeah, I think looking for examples in your similar industry, there's always going to be an example of someone having done something in possibly a more advanced market, or just a more advanced competitor, even in a slightly different industry, doing something with a similar challenge that you have. I think it's about looking for those examples and keeping close to that and seeing how you can then apply it to your own business.